UniKL. Kita terbilang. Wow, kita datang. Wow, kita datang. Wow, kita terbilang. Wow, kita terbilang. Mencari peluang. Mencari peluang. Menjadi cemerlang. Menjadi cemerlang. UniKL. Wow, UniKL. UniKL. Wow, UniKL. Satu amanat kita junjung sama, tak kira di darat, laut dan udara. Cium tangan mama papa, tanda janji, kata pasti di kota, buktikan pada mereka. Bawa akal, jadi bekal, ikut padi untuk berisi selamat jiwa. Di kandung kental, menyerah kalah, tolak ke sisi. Wow, kita datang, wow, kita datang, wow, kita terbilang, wow, kita terbilang. Mencari peluang, mencari peluang, menjadi cemerlang, menjadi cemerlang. UniKL, wow, UniKL, UniKL, wow, UniKL. Satu matlamat, terbang gapai mimpi, renangi era baru, kejar misi frekuensi, pengemudi angkatan, nahoda kemajuan, jauh manapun ada ciptakan menjadi nyata. Tetap tegar, jangan lalai, tetap gentar, jangan lolai, setinggi manapun akan capai, kita melonjak dari lantai. Wow, kita datang, wow, kita datang, wow, kita terbilang, wow, kita terbilang. Mencari peluang, mencari peluang, menjadi cemerlang, menjadi cemerlang. UniKL, wow, UniKL, wow, UniKL, wow, UniKL, wow.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning to everyone. Welcome to Sembang U&I, Fly High with UniKL. Okay, so this is our Merdeka Edition. Everybody already know that tomorrow is Malaysia's birthday. Okay, so now in order, in conjunction with our Merdeka Day or Independence Day, I am glad to have a conversation, okay, with two of our handsome and successful alumni students from different batches. First of all, my name is actually Bahari bin Baha. I am actually a lecturer here and the moderator for this particular session. Okay, first of all, I would like to invite or introduce our first speaker of the day, Mujaheed Abdulmalik. So he is actually an alumni 2021. He is actually our international student coming all the way from Nigeria, and he studied Bachelor of Computer Engineering Technology with honors. Okay, currently he is actually furthering master's degree at Canada Trent University. Okay, he is actually doing masters in science, big data analytics. So everybody, please welcome Mr. Mujaheed Abdul Malik. Assalamualaikum and good morning, Mr. Mujaheed.
Waalaikumsalam.
I believe in Canada it's actually night time.
Yeah, it is. It's 11. It's 11 past 11. 5 past 11.
5 past 11. It's exactly 12 hours apart from us. So good evening to you, sir.
Good evening.
Okay, we are so glad that you are here. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? How's everyone here?
Alhamdulillah, we are all good. I am all good. I'm very excited to have you here. Okay, so thank you for coming. Okay, next.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Okay, very nice. So next, I'm going to introduce to all of you our second speaker. Okay, technologist Izdiharuddin Mohamed Isa. He is actually an alumni here in UniKL MIIT 2014. Okay, he is actually here. Okay, he is actually born here in Malaysia and he actually studied Bachelor of Information Technology in Computer System Security. Okay, right now he is currently working at Singapore under the company of Citibank. And currently he is the Vice President of digital forensic and incident response. So Assalamualaikum and good morning, Mr. TS Izdiharuddin.
Waalaikumsalam, Mr. Bahri. Thank
Uh,
you. Thanks.
how are you?
I'm good, Alhamdulillah. And how about you, Mr.
I'm
Bahri?
good, Alhamdulillah. Very excited to have you here.
Yeah.
So, so,
Thank you so much.
so currently, are you in Singapore?
Currently, actually, I'm in KL, taking my leave, catching up with my family. So yeah, I'm currently in KL right now.
Ah, okay. So welcome back, I believe.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Okay, so is there any? How should I address you again? Technologies.
You can just call me Rudy in short. Easier. Everyone knows me by the name of Rudy. Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna call you Rudy, and of course, Mr. Mujaheed. I'm gonna call you Mr. Mujaheed, nah?
He just Mujahid is okay.
Okay, Mujaheed is okay. Like the title say, this is actually Sembang U&I, so we are just having some fun, having some chit chat for this particular session. Okay, so again, one more time, thank you very much for being here. So now I'm going to proceed with Mr. Mujaheed, or Mujaheed, I'm sorry. Okay, so Mujaheed, you've been, the last time you were here was in actually 2021. So I want
Yeah.
to ask, you actually came from Nigeria. So I
Yeah.
want to ask you, why do you choose UniKL MIIT to begin with?
Yeah. So it's a very funny story, right? So I planned to like study in Malaysia because my sister like moved to Malaysia, so I felt like I needed to like find a school around there to be closer to her. So I was like searching on schools, right? Like checking requirements and you know probably like rankings in terms of like how well like the schools rank in terms of like employability and also like recommendations from people too. So with all my like check-ins or findings or whatever it is, like UniKL like came top in most of them in terms of like employability. It was quite high, and most people I spoke to said UniKL would be like the perfect school in terms of like um, during like the lectures. It's more of like a one-on-one session, especially MIT. It's more of like a one-on-one session with the lecturer because the classes are not too big, so the lecturers actually know your progress and what level you are on, which is like the perfect way I learned. So that was like a no-brainer for me, like in choosing UniKL for like my university. So yes, that was like the main reason why I chose UniKL. Like everything was, aligned perfectly in terms of like what I needed to, succeed.
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Okay, so that is why you actually chose UniKL, because of employability, because of UniKL MIIT history. So very nice to hear from you. And on behalf of UniKL MIIT, say thank you to your sister because she moved here and actually brought you here.
Yeah, I'll do that when next we talk.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, same question to Mr. Rudy. Okay, so why did you choose UniKL MIIT?
Okay, so that's a good question. So basically, after I graduated for my diploma elsewhere, which is in International Islamic College, so I was looking for majoring, especially in cybersecurity, and I wanted something to do with technical capabilities and learning to understand the technical sides of things. So I did my research, and somehow close by near my place, my home, right? So in KL, so I saw UniKL was one of the best option, I would say, when uh, taking uh, taking a look at the so-called requirements, the list of subjects and stuff like that. So I was thinking, hey, why not go and do this, right? Furthering my degree in UniKL. Then I think moving forward, I mean, everything is there, uh, and achieve what I wanted actually from studying in UniKL. So that's why I can say from the start and the end. And now I'm where I am now due to UniKL. Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing I can share a bit.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. So you're staying very near to UniKL, and then you were looking into improving or learning in terms of technical. I believe this is in the computer area, isn't it? In computer field,
Correct.
isn't it?
Cybersecurity. Yeah.
Cyber security to be exact. Okay, so therefore that's why you student here in UniKL MIIT. Very good to know. Very good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can move to Mr. Mujaheed. I kept on calling Mr. Because I believe both all of you are alumni, so you are no longer a student here. So in order to project respect to all of you, so I'm going to call you Mr. This cannot be abolished. I don't know why. Okay, again, Mr. Mujaheed. Right now, currently, you are studying in Canada. That is like another continent.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wonder how does UniKL MIIT help you to further your study there in Trent University in Canada? Maybe you can walk us through.
Yeah, it was kind of like it was a huge help for one, like because of like my results, right? So um obviously UniKL is it's a very popular school, so the my university didn't need to over vet my results, knowing that exactly that if it's coming from UniKL, then it's a you know it's of high standards. And I would say they made the transition into studying here easier. Like UniKL in general made the transition into studying here easier because like the workload I had in UniKL, like my 4 years in UniKL, I took, I don't know if that's the same for everyone, but I took 7 courses or 6, 7 courses per semester. So it was more or less that workload is a lot. It's a lot of credits per semester. So going from that to here, like, it actually balanced itself out. I didn't have that adjustment process, the adjustment process where I needed to get used to the workload. Like I just went straight in because I already had that experience in UniKL where I had to study a lot, do lots of quizzes, tests, projects for most courses, reading for assignments and everything. So the progress was seamless. I would say the adjustment itself was seamless. So UniKL really put that foundation in for me. So in terms of I was already used to the pressure before I got here, and also just made like the admission process easier because UniKL has like a certain reputation already. So yeah, that would summarize it in that way, I would say.
Good. That is very good to know because before, like what I can understand, before you go there, Trent University actually take a look at your result. That is the
Yeah,
first thing that they actually see.
yeah,
And then from there they vet everything and then they see whether you are worthy or not to be included in Trent University.
yeah,
And and then because of what you have actually experienced here in UniKL MIIT, the
yeah.
courses for each semester, it actually helped you to adapt yourself there in Trent University.
Yeah. And now in like the more of like the technology field or tech in general, like you can be smart. Like being smart it's a huge asset, right? But your soft skills are the main skills. Like they are equally as important as your hard skills meaning like you're smart maybe in math or in programming or whatever it is, but like your soft skills in terms of communication, in terms of like your confidence in presentations, and how well you relate or work as a team and things like that, those are equally as important for your success now in even the job field. Even as our second speaker would I testify later on, like you need a lot of soft skills to be successful. And I feel like UniKL really helped with that because I had so many um presentations, so many, projects that you need to present in front of an audience, in front of a class. And I did that constantly in most courses. So once you do that, like a lot of times, it becomes like, part and parcel of how you learn, or it's not as, you're not as nervous as you would be if you are not used to doing that. So I'll say UniKL really helped in that sense, like preparing me for like, more of the, soft skills, the communication, presentations and things like that, which is like really, really nice. Then it was, a bit of a pain in the, but now it's it's good. It's for the better. I'd say.
Okay, that is actually very good to know because
Yeah.
of your courses, because of the presentation, because of the project implementation that UniKL did for you, and the one that you actually contributed. It actually helped you to further your study there in Canada,
Yeah.
because like the like we know, Malaysia and Canada is actually far away from each other. It's actually different in terms of, like I said, continent, in terms of cultural, in terms of everything. But then again, it actually helped you. Okay, thank you, Mujahid. Very nice. Okay, good to know. Okay, Mr. Rudy.
Yes.
This the same question, but however, I believe our audience wants to know. How does UniKL MIIT help you to work abroad,
Okay.
especially there in Citibank, Singapore? Maybe you can
Okay.
enlighten us. Yes.
Yeah, sure. I think that will be a long story in terms of my career progression, right? So, firstly, I would like to agree with Mujahid. I think the soft skills are what has been focused in UniKL, which helps a lot when you are working out there in the work environment, right? So, I think apart from uh, how UniKL built the foundation of your subjects on your courses, right? For example, for my side, computer system security. So you also have that same soft skills like presentation. These are all meant to improve your communication skills. So I would have to agree with Mujahid when it comes to working, right? So I can't stop talking due to that. So because you have that confidence already built as a foundation, so when it comes to working, you have no problems adapting to communicating. So in my perspective, so after I graduated from UniKL, I was working 5 years in the government sector, especially in Malaysian Communications Multimedia Commission. So over there, there's a lot of I would say action-packed uh, working environment. You have to talk. You have to be on the ground to investigate things. You have to work with the other law enforcement agencies. You just imagine the amount of communication skill sets that is needed, right? The confidence level. So these are built, the foundation are built within UniKL. That's how you get in the start. Then I move over to the private sector, which is, you have, I worked in a fintech, US fintech based in KL before, then moving over to Standard Chartered. Then upon that Standard Chartered Malaysia, I was poached by Singapore companies. So that's where I tried to give my best in the interviews and stuff. So I succeeded and moved to Singapore. My first company was IBM spin-off, which was the Kyndryl spin-off company. So I was there as the pioneer team for Singapore incident response and forensics team. Then after a year, that's where Citibank approached, and yeah, I decided to make a move as it's a huge global bank. So that's where I'm currently. I think you wanted to ask what is DFIR and what my job is like. So basically, the digital forensics and incident response is basically the front line when it comes to security events or any so-called anything that is security related, for example, hacking, malware cases. So what I do is I investigate further on the root cause, and if there's any employees involved, I have to conduct interviews, things like that. So the scope is that's a high level overview. Of course, there's a bit more technical in depth, but that's roughly what I do day to day in Citibank. So yeah, I love my throughout my career path. It's all about forensics and incident response. I'm not moving away from it. I just love it, and my foundation was from UniKL, so I'm just being thankful, and also I give back sometimes still communicating with my lecturers and stuff like that. So I think it's all in all, it's really a huge achievement for me as well. Yeah, that's why I can share a bit.
Okay, very nice. I am very, very impressed. Okay, I believe you were an alumni since 2014. So hence
Correct.
why you have the extensive experience
Correct.
of a working experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I didn't know that in Singapore, this is actually your second post. The first one was IBM, isn't it?
Yeah, the first one was IBM Kyndryl in Singapore. Yeah, that was
And
my
then
first. Yeah,
your first in Singapore, and then after that you
correct.
switched to Citibank Singapore.
Citibank.
Both
Correct.
are the same field. You're still both are
Correct.
actually doing digital forensic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's very interesting, because we all of us we want to know how do we actually want to go there and what kind of experience are we expecting. So maybe we can talk about it later on
Yeah.
on
Sure.
uh, but then again, like I said, interesting because this is digital forensic. I believe when we look at us right now in this era, we are using a lot of digital, our phone, let alone our laptop, our tab, and then let along all the applications. I have to, hands down, I'm not very fluent with applications nowadays. I actually look at only a few things. I actually learn from a lot from my own students regarding applications.
Yeah.
Okay, very nice. Okay, Mujahid.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, now we already listened to you. Okay, how can actually UniKL MIIT help you in furthering your study as a master student there in Canada? Now, can you let us know what are the advantages of studying abroad? What are the things? Maybe you can tell us the experience and then the advantages of studying abroad.
Okay, so I would, because obviously when I was in Malaysia, I was studying abroad, right? So
Yes.
I think it's best I start from there. So if I bring it down to like the most basic level, like the 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 like the advantages of studying abroad is you get to your level of education gets to like broaden beyond school, because then you are exposed to different cultures and different how people behave, and different nuances and everything. Like the fact that I got to study in Malaysia, like going from Nigeria to Malaysia is a big change, because for one, like we don't do the same things. Like fine, like there are maybe some similarities, the food, the culture, everything is different. So you have to like, it helps you adapt. That's the first thing I would say. Like studying abroad helps you adapt. It helps you also, it helps you, what's the word? It helps you be, I don't want to use empathetic, but you tend to understand people in a different way, because you know you would know that the way people do things in Malaysia is different from back home. So you have to adjust yourself to be okay with the way things are done in another place. And also the way education is passed through in Malaysia is different from back home too. So I would say that, having to taste how education is being brought to people back home and in Malaysia and now in Canada is like a huge, it's a huge up for me, because, I probably won't have any issue adjusting anywhere. Like I've probably tasted the three continents already, probably not Australia, but like the three continents already, and that's good. So, you know, that I would say is the first one. And also, it just I would say that you get to meet more people, you get to like broaden your networking a bit more. Like the amount of people I met in Malaysia that are still in my life now, like obviously UniKL is still part of my life now. If not, I won't be here now in the in this talk or meeting, as we say. Like so, like it just builds your network a lot more. Like you get to like have more people that you can actually reference or ask back questions if you don't really understand a few things. And that's like really the most important part for me, the people I got to meet. Like around like studying abroad. The people I got to meet in Malaysia who are like very important in my life till now, and the people I'm still meeting now in Canada who are like will probably be important in the future for me. So yeah, it's that for me would be the biggest take I would say from studying abroad, like the amazing people I got to meet.
Okay, good to know. It's actually very nice here. You actually say that studying abroad, one of the biggest advantages is actually to meet people, to broaden your network. And I believe you're doing that as well now in Canada, isn't it?
Yeah, same. I'm still doing that, and I'm the kind of person that I'm kind of easily approachable, so it was kind of like an easy transition going to Malaysia, and I met a lot of people, and the fact that our like if you check our set or the computer engineering and technology set of 2021, we probably had the smallest amount in terms of like compared to other departments. So we're like very close knit. We all like loved each other and like helped each other. So it was it was a really nice experience, I'll say.
Very good. Mujahid, to tell you the truth, before I actually have this particular session, I talked to one of the lecturers who actually taught you before. He said nothing but good things about you.
Oh,
So
really?
yes, that is very good to know. So
That's good.
he's actually said that you were a great student, and yes, he agreed. Before you actually mentioned that you are very approachable, he actually agreed. He actually said to me, Bahari, you can actually go and see him. You can actually talk to him anything. Okay, because he is very approachable. That is what he said.
That's good.
Okay, so nice, Mujahid. Okay, very, very nice. Thank you very much for telling us about studying abroad. What are the advantages? Now we move along to Mr. Rudy. Okay, the same question, but we want to know the advantages of working abroad now. Now we actually know that you actually went to two different companies in Singapore. Maybe you can tell us the future UniKL MIIT graduates, what are they going to expect working abroad?
Okay, thanks for the question. So basically, the expectation of working abroad, of course, you have to be a bit open-minded in a way, all right? Because you basically have multicultural, so-called differences, which you have to respect sometimes. So, for example, in my current working environment, we have global teams in United States, in Europe, for example. So we have the most important things is I think the firstly is the communication skills. If you don't adapt with especially English, communicating in English, it will be a problem because that's the main language, right? When working abroad, internationally, globally. So this is one of the aspects I saw, where you have to adapt the fastest you can within the global environment. So apart from that, I mean, back in Singapore, I have a wonderful team. Basically, I'm to thank you the truth, I'm the only Malay guy in my global team. So just imagine the amount of challenges that I might face. But the best thing is that I have a great team, especially when it comes to. I give you some example during my lunch. They especially cater for me first. Taking me out to especially a halal place, for example, right? So they have that tendency of asking me first because we are going out together, right? In terms of eating out and stuff like that. So I mean, it's creates a bond within the team as well, especially on my case, and having a manager which has been helpful to me in adapting to the life in Singapore is especially great. So I think the most important, I think, is to be like I put emphasis is being a bit open-minded in a way. When you're abroad, you can expect the same things over in your own country, right? So that's the things you need to adapt. Sometimes you will be shocked in certain things, but hey, you are actually sacrificing your family to have better life, things like that. So yeah, that's the thing you need to face. And one of my tips is just being open and stick to your goals and achievements that you want to be, right? So yeah, I think that's a good start for the question and answer. Yeah, that's what I can
Mm,
share. Yeah,
very interesting, because you say the moment that you work abroad, it is actually a global thing whereby you are communicating with Europe, with US, I believe. Okay,
yeah,
these kind of people, and it actually improve your communication. But you mentioned, you touch about challenges. Okay, I really want to know, because you are working there in Singapore. Singapore is actually our neighbor here in Malaysia.
correct.
So yes, it's abroad. I can understand, but what are the challenges? What are, apart from the, because it's somewhat like similar, I would say, but
Yeah.
the challenges. Maybe you can explain more. What is different?
I would say there's nothing much different in terms of communicating wise. You can see that people love speaking in English, even it's your own race, things like that. I think it's a thing that I would say different when it comes to communicating with one another in Singapore, because English is the main language, right? So that's one of the thing. And other than that, I would say it's pretty much similar in terms of most probably Singapore is a small country. The only difference is how huge and how the environment is over there. It might be stressful at times because when you walk around, it's the same thing, right? Not in Malaysia. You can go other so-called negeri, right? So yeah, things that's the main thing I would say. It's not a challenge. It's just the way you have to adapt to different
Mm.
environment. I would say I so far I'm easily adapting anywhere I am. So I'm just doing the best I could. Yeah,
Okay, very nice,
yeah.
very nice. That is very insightful. All right. Similarly, Mr. Mujahid, okay, my next question for you is actually challenges in studying in Canada. Okay, because you already studied here in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Okay, and we want to know what are the challenges that you face studying in Malaysia, and now what are the challenges that you're studying in Canada? What are they? What are the differences?
I'll say the I would say the differences are like with Malaysia, it was more or less, it was my first time like going abroad to like study in general, not going abroad, but going abroad and living abroad. So, and I was very young when I got to Malaysia. Like I was 17 when I got to Malaysia. So I was and it's a situation where when I started having classes, I found out that most of my classmates like are older than me by like 4 or 5 years, because I feel the educational system in Malaysia is a bit more different than back home. So I was like the youngest in class. So it was one of those things where you would think communication would be a barrier because of the age, right? But it's more or less, the I think one thing that most people find it hard to believe is once you go abroad, you don't necessarily need to wait for the locals to talk to you. I feel like that's like the cliche, right? Like you have to like wait for like the locals to be the one to like talk to you because you feel you're the visitor. But if you're going somewhere abroad to study, then that place automatically becomes home for that period of time. Even if it's work, even if it's study, whatever it is, that place automatically becomes home. So you should try to communicate more with people. And getting to Malaysia, it didn't take me a week to find out that Malaysians are very shy people. So you have to be the one to make the first step and actually say hi or talk to them. Then they open up because they probably don't know what to say to you, because they don't want to be rude, or you don't want to be like offensive to you. So you have to make the first step to like make the ground like very soft for the landing and everything. So that's like that would say was the main challenge at the beginning, like coming in, young and naive and not, not like being open to talk to people at first. But after a few weeks, you find out that you need to talk to people. If not, you won't be successful. Like, you can't have all the knowledge in the world. Like, your classmates will have to help you, like, pass on knowledge. You also pass on knowledge to them. But like, you, as much as you learn from your lecturers, you learn from your classmates a lot more. Like, I feel like you even learn more from your classmates than you learn from your lecturers, because they're the ones you talk to every day. They're the ones you have access to every day. Once your lecturer is done with his 9 to 5, like, he has to go back to his family. But your friends are available to you almost 24 hours because they have the same issues you have. So those adjusting to that kind of like routine of making relationships with people, actually helping yourselves with like assignments and doing group studies and things like that, those were like the first challenges for me. Like, I had to like really adjust to doing that, because back home I did most of my schoolwork probably alone, or I didn't really. So that was like my first challenge coming to Malaysia. Then I would say Canada here is a different ballgame, because I came here like as a full-grown adult now. I would say now I'm 23, right? So I know that like I'm still young, but I've seen enough to like be able to like adapt to places. Like, my experience in Malaysia has helped me like meet more people here like easily, and know that I have to like make the first step to communicate with people. So the only challenge I would say I have here is like the workload for masters is a lot more than your degree, because there it's no one is going to like baby you, or like try and like teach you everything from scratch. You have to already have a bit of knowledge in you, or already have that hardworking mentality, or like that mentality that you have to like read, you have to study by yourself. No one is telling you to study. Like, they just drop the test, and if you don't do it, like you know the marks you get. So it's more or less like the only challenge you have coming here is that you don't like, you already have to be ready made in terms of like having that school mentality, working mentality, and you already have to like be able to go the extra mile than if you're doing your undergraduate, where everything is still trying to like, everybody's still trying to like be a bit more down to earth and like start from like the basics for you. So that I would say is the biggest challenge in coming to study here so far. But those are like the two differences I would say.
That is very clear. Okay, it's very true. Your challenges is actually quite different. When you are here in Malaysia, you were very young, and then this is the first time. It was the first time that you started to live in a foreign country.
Yeah.
But now you are in Canada. This is actually testing more. The challenges actually came more towards academic, I believe.
Yeah.
And not to say, I believe, yes, the workload is going to be a lot more, but then
Yeah.
again, the critical thinking is actually more there, because it's another level compared to here in
Yeah.
Malaysia, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
They don't
Very
expect anything basic. Yeah, it has to be like well thought through. Yeah.
okay, very nice. A little bit informal kind of question, because
Yeah.
yes, we are chit chatting. This is like somewhat like sembang.
Yeah.
Like informal. What about in terms of food? What are the challenges?
For me, I'm like the I'm the how do I put it? I'm the worst person you could ask about food, because I love food in terms of like, I don't like, I even back home before I started traveling, like I wasn't brought up to like choose, so I don't have allergies and things like that. So I think getting to Malaysia, like the joke of it all was my classmates would think, oh, I can't have like the spicy food, the sambal, or the what's what's it called, the nasi goreng, or the nasi lemak, everything like. But I didn't find it spicy, because I love spicy food, and it was nice. It was a nice transition. Like, I enjoyed like the Malaysian palate, and even now sometimes I miss
Craving.
Malaysia sometimes, and I make like nasi lemak by myself. I do. So it's like yeah, it's one of those things, like, yeah, it's one of those things I do. Like, it's, I could, even though I wasn't taught how to make it back then, like I could check the recipes online and make it myself. Like, it's, food is usually not my problem because I know how to cook. So I I could, if I miss it, I'll make it. So yeah, I've kept Malaysia with me since I left. I kept Malaysia with me since I left, I would say, in terms of like the food and everything.
Very interesting. You are making me wanting you to cook nasi lemak for both Rudy and me, myself.
Oh, it's
Maybe
okay.
one day.
When I open my restaurant, you come over. You come over.
That is actually very interesting. Okay, okay. That is actually, thank you very much for sharing your academic, okay, your working experiences. I believe all of us here, Facebook Live, everybody is actually enjoying your experiences. This is considered as valuable. Okay, this is actually valuable insight because, like I said, Mujahid, your experience on moving from one country to another country, the experiencing different culture and whatnot, this is very enriching for us to actually listen to. And Rudy as well, your experiences in working here in Malaysia and then working in Singapore, those kind of experiences is very valuable for us. Now, in the spirit of Independence Day, tomorrow is Malaysia's birthday, our 66th birthday. So Malaysia is having Independence Day. So I'm gonna start with Mr. Rudy over here. We want to know, what does it mean? What does Independence Day mean to you? Maybe you can share your point of view.
I think my perspective is that what Independence Day means is that look at how Malaysia has gone through, right, until the success of today. So I think it's pretty much the question to us as a citizen, right? What do we contribute back to the country? So I think this is the my perspective is in independence is about improving the country as a whole. So for myself, I'm doing my best, giving back to the community, especially UniKL. If you ask my lecturers, I'm still communicating with them, things in terms of sharing knowledge, stuff like that. So as a whole, I think it's all about we are currently living in peace and harmony on how we maintain and what we do moving forward together with the country, right? So I think that's my perspective on what Independence Day means to me. Yeah, that's what I can say.
Very true.
Mm.
I won't deny that Malaysia is actually very peaceful. Okay, if I want what Mujahid want, nasi lemak, I can actually go down there and then just eat peacefully. That is actually a very good way of putting what Independence Day means
Yeah,
to us. Okay, the same question to Mujahid. What
yeah.
does independence means to you? What does it mean to you?
Independence for me is freedom, right? Like, you, like, I think the people of the past, like, they helped us have our own free will in terms of like we can actually make decisions to, you know, to better ourselves, and I think in return also better our, community and others. Like, the second speaker said, like, it's freedom. Like, once you're independent, then you have like the free will to make your own decisions to be successful. So I feel like for you to make the independence or to make Merdeka, to make it worth it, right, you have to put in all your effort to like make sure like those sacrifices and that, everything for that independence is worth it. So that's what I would say. Like, it's freedom. So um so we have to like make the good decisions to make sure that freedom wasn't like, it wasn't done in vain. So that's why, and that's what I would say about independence in my own, because, independence back home too, I would say, it's freedom too, right? Everything was for us to make, our own decisions, for us to be what we want to be, and, for us not to be under anyone, and for us to like maintain peace, for us to be understanding. So that for me is independence. that sums up independence, freedom and understanding.
Yes, very true. Okay, it's actually aligning with Rudy. Okay, independence is actually freedom. Freedom for you to actually do everything, but in a right,
Yeah,
somewhat like a right
yeah,
manner.
right way.
Okay,
Yeah.
very nice. Okay, so now, okay, I Independence Day is very near for Malaysia. It's tomorrow. Now we want to ask you both, okay, starting with Rudy, how is your country that you are living in, which is Singapore, the preparation of Independence Day and then the celebration itself? Maybe you can walk us through that.
Okay, I think for Singapore side of things, they had their National Day on the 9th of August, which is the same month as us. So, to tell you the truth, I was working during that day, protecting, so covering all my Singapore people team. So yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, the celebration, I watch it live. Basically, normally they will have a parade, Singapore National Day parade, where they showcase a lot of so-called events, and also showcases their so like vehicles, things like that. Similarly, what you have in Malaysia, right? The army, the police, things like that. I think it's similar over in Singapore. You have that parade as well. So there's nothing much. Usually, it goes from the afternoon to till night, and I watch it live since I was working, right? So on the TV. So it's quite interesting. You have the team of called the Red Lions. They parachute down from the sky, and they do some maneuvers, things like that. So it was quite interesting to watch, especially if you watch live. Of course, it's exciting, but to me, it's a bit sacrifice over there for the team, and just watch it online. Yeah,
That is very respectful of you. Okay, I believe because you are from Malaysia and then you're
correct,
working in Singapore, somehow you're giving room for the
correct.
Singaporeans to actually enjoy that. That is
Yeah.
very cool of you.
So yeah,
And yeah, to be honest, you are digital forensic. That is actually very important
correct,
for you to protect.
correct. You know, we are always 24/7 around the clock. Yeah, so we have to protect the organization. I would agree. Yeah,
Very okay, very nice. It's quite the way you picture it for us is actually quite similar to us here in Malaysia.
yeah.
We have the parachute, the parade showing the military vehicles and whatnot. Very interesting. Okay, now Mujahid, the same question. We want to know in Canada right now, how is the independence celebration, their preparation? Maybe you can tell us.
Yeah, Canada Day is July 1st, so it's passed already. So usually they have like parades. It's a public holiday, obviously, and they have a parade. And so this year, I wasn't able to fully immerse myself in the Canada Day celebration, but I was able to like see, the celebration through the TV, through the news, and they their musical performances, lots of like, parades, people actually holding the flags and walking on the streets and things like that, which is quite beautiful to see. So, I think really that sums up like how they celebrate it, like, Canada Day here, which is, really nice. They celebrate as long as they want to, as long as it's on that 1st of July. It's, it's a full on celebration here everywhere.
Very nice. What about there in Nigeria?
Oh,
I
Nigeria.
huh.
Yeah. Nigeria, it's ours is on October 1st. So Nigeria, we celebrate independence. Like it depends on your preference, right? So some for me, sometimes I just sleep at home, to be honest, on Independence Day. Because- I just sleep at home, to be honest. But like it's it depends on you. So everyone celebrates it in their own way. So usually people can like go out, families go out together, they can buy flags. Like usually when I was in like I remember as far back as when I was in primary or secondary school, like during like Independence Day, would be asked to like make flags from scratch and like the person with the most beautiful flag, or like the most well painted flag like wins, or things like that, or they will ask you to like, make a song about independence. So it's quite a thing, back home. So but it's more or less subjective to how you want to like celebrate your country. So which is quite nice. So you get to see like people celebrate in different ways, and yeah.
Very nice. Celebrate in a way that you want. That is
Yeah.
actually something new for me.
Yeah.
Because like we said, okay, we already talked to Rudy, and then in Singapore the celebration is quite similar to Malaysia, the parades,
Yeah.
the showcasing of all the equipments and whatnot. But in Nigeria, celebrate on how you want it to be. No
Yeah.
wonder you slept one whole day during the
Yeah,
Independence Day.
I just slept. Yeah, obviously there's like, in the capital of Nigeria there are parades, but like most of Nigeria's population isn't in the capital, right? Most people are like in different parts of Nigeria, so everybody gets to celebrate how they want to celebrate, because it's a very populated country. So people wouldn't want to be confined. It's a public holiday, and you probably don't get public holidays as much as you would want to. So everybody would want to like celebrate it the way they would want to, probably with their family. That's their own way of like, celebrating independence. And mine with my bed. So I mean, yeah,
Okay, very interesting. For me personally, Independence Day is actually where I would love to go to parade. Okay, because I believe this is the only time where we can actually go to the parade and then wave our flag and then take a look at the whole Malaysia.
mm,
I believe that is actually like tomorrow. Tomorrow early in the morning, after prayers, after subuh prayers, I'm gonna straight away go to Putrajaya and then take a look at the parades, the everything, the whole day of Independence Day. Okay, so I believe if both of you are actually here, or especially Mujahid lah. If I believe Mujahid, if you are here, maybe you can come and take a look at the celebration together with us, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay. Before we move forward, is there anything that you want to say for Malaysia Independence Day tomorrow? Maybe we can start with Rudy.
Uh, to me, I think for everyone who's celebrating, hopefully all of you have great celebrations together with friends and family. I think that's the most important thing during this Independence Day, right? So it's all about doing everything together with family and friends. So hopefully you have a great time tomorrow as well. So yeah, happy Merdeka Day, and yeah, thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Rudy, and then move along to Mujahid. Anything to say?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Just like, have fun, and really, fall back in love with your country again. Like I feel like that's what independence should do, right? Like for you to like really think about your country and really fall back, because I think sometimes we tend to like be stuck in ourselves for so long, and but like independence just reminds us that, yeah, we're living in a country, and we're also contributing to the, success and the economy. So I would say independence should like really help you like think about your country, think about the state of your nation, and how well you as an individual can improve it, even if it's in a small way. So yeah, that should be what independence brings about. Like have fun with your family, and also think about your country. That I would say.
Okay, very nice. Okay, that is actually very good. Think about the country, think about the economy, think about you as an individual. How are you going to contribute back to the country? That is actually very good messages. Okay, so before we end, we talk about Malaysia, we talk about you yourself. Okay, so now before we end, is there anything that you want to say to UniKL MIIT? I believe both of you miss UniKL MIIT so much, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So is there anything that you want to say before we end the session, Mujahid?
Uh, I love you guys. I mean, I do. So it's, it's really, I was really happy when I reached out to like to, talk for UniKL, and I was like, yeah, I would never pass up the chance to like, come back and actually relive like some of the memories I have in UniKL. So it's a beautiful experience, and I hope, UniKL continues to like bring forth like leaders and well groomed like students for the job space and also life in general. So yeah, that's most of what I would say. I miss UniKL, and I hope UniKL continues to succeed to like help students like me, international students and also local students, like be the better versions of themselves in life and also in school. Because I think sometimes you get caught up in like the whole educational part, and we don't really think about the fact that you going to a higher institution or universities for university you to pass through university and university to also pass through you in terms of like earning more skills. Let's even leave communication aside, like more skills and your temperament and things as little as that. Like university really helps you like develop that properly, even independence too. So that I would say, like I hope people continue to like pay attention to all those other like aspects of life. Like fine, like education is important, even the soft skills are important, but like those other aspects of like self improvement or self skills are good to like to develop, and UniKL is like probably the best place to do it. So yeah, that that would say sums it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually a question here posted. What kind of advice would you give to students, alumni who would like to pursue their careers abroad? I believe this is for Rudy. Mr.
Sure,
Rudy?
I think a good question there. I think I highlighted that before. I think one of the best advice I would say, being open-minded, because you will be in a environment that might be not easily to adapt. So I think being in an open mind, having an open mindset helps you in a way to adapt as fast as you can. And also one of the best advice I would say is improving your communication skills. So in UniKL, you have plenty of presentations. Don't skip it. It's a base for you to improve. So do volunteers. Put yourself in a place where you can communicate a lot, like the SRCs, for example. I was one of vice president of SRCs year 2012. So it's a turning point for you when you have that exposure when you pursue abroad later on. So I think that's one of a couple of best advice I would give in terms of pursuing career abroad. Yeah.
Very nice. Open-minded mindset. Okay, and then do not skip presentation. That is very good. Okay.
Yeah.
I okay. So thank you very much, Mr. Rudy, and we hope that it actually answers the audience question. Great discussion and speakers. Thank you. Okay, so Mr. Rudy, I'll give you a chance. Is there any last words that you want to wish to UniKL?
I think I wish all the best success for UniKL. I think I'm the living proof of what UniKL can do. So I think if I could do it, anyone can basically in UniKL. So it's all about your how you approach things, how you move forward. To me, UniKL already done its best. Yeah, I think hopefully we'll see. I'm always open to networking. So yeah, keep in touch and have a great Merdeka celebrations tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, you're most welcome. Again, thank you very much, Mujahid and Rudy, for spending your time. Even though it's actually 1 hour, this is actually not enough. I wish to talk to you for more than 1 hour, 6 hours maybe. But then again, because of the time, we are going to end the session now. On behalf of UniKL MIIT, I just want to say we love you and we are so proud of the two of you. you keep on moving forward, you keep on making us proud about your achievement. And whenever you feel like it, come back to UniKL and have a drink. You can always call us. We can go downstairs. There's Saddam over there. We can eat nasi kandar anytime that you would like. We are going to appreciate that and love that. All right. So thank you again, Mujaheed and Rudy, for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Thank you.
All right. Okay. That is all from us. Sembang U&I Merdeka Edition of the day. Again, on behalf of UniKL MIIT. Okay, thank you very much for participating and listening to this particular session. And happy Independence Day, Malaysia. Happy birthday. Thank you. Assalamualaikum and good evening.
Walaikum salam. Have a good day. Thank you. Bye.